everyone. My name is Shinichiro Fujimori. Today, I would like to inform you that Integrated Assessment Modeling Consortium is going to establish a new scientific working group on national scenarios. So I'm going to talk about this new SWGs. Well, let me start from background on global IAM scenarios. So, as you might have already known, model-based scenarios are essential pieces of climate mitigation policies and their formulations. And the global scenarios have been greatly contributing to international climate policy, including COPPE processes, IPCC, and so on. And I think well-coordinated model inter-comparisons have been the main sources of IPCC scenarios database, which I here mentioned only about the global scenarios, but let me take an example of AR6, which was just released this year. Many of the scenarios are taken from EMF 30, 33, Engage, City Links, which are Horizon 2020 projects, and SR 1.5 main sources of the scenarios are EM33 and City Links, and AR5 can be also set a similar situation where we had EMF series of EMF studies and Horizon or FP7 based European projects modeling intercomparison. Now, what about the national scenarios? I think similar to global scenarios, national scenarios play an important role for individual nations. And perhaps after Paris Agreement, the importance of or needs for national scenarios have been increasing, which is related to NDC and updates of such kind of national targets, or we have long-term strategies towards mid-century. And furthermore, as a Paris Agreement stated, periodic reviews and revisions of national studies strategies are needed. And what is the station of national scenarios? Well, basically, we think we have individual modeling national teams, and they made national scenarios. At the same time, we also have individual national MIPS, like China, India, Japan, United States, and EU. We also have a continental level modeling comparisons like Asian modeling exercises or Latin American modeling comparison projects. Moreover, recently we also had an attempt to compile cross-national comparisons, which was undertaken by the City Links, Commit, Engage, which are European project-based MIPS. And in these exercises, we may need to note that basically the global scenarios are taken and used them as boundary conditions. And in some cases, uniform carbon prices are used. One more addition here is that IPCC Working Group 3, Chapter 4, sixth assessment report collected the existing national scenarios, which I think this chapter is a new chapter contents compared to the past IPCC report. And I would expect that we would have a more important role in national scenarios. However, there are no communities or organizations which have centrally collected information on national scenarios. And eventually, a comparability between scenarios are expected, but it's quite difficult. And how should we design national scenarios that are consistent with global scenarios are always a question. And how to deal with uncertainties is another key critical questions for us. And climate policies are revised and launched periodically and very frequently right now. National circumstances can change drastically over time. And global scenarios are also revised based on Working Group 3 or Working Group 1 state-of-the-art knowledge. And so to consistently address these kind of issues, we think that there would be many things that IAMC as an organization can deal with such kind of issues. And therefore, the main objective of this SWG is to promote some standardization among national scenario development activities to increase comparability and use in assessment of international climate policy, which I think can include linkages to common reporting databases. Up to now, we have a so-called IAMC template, which is commonly used in global modeling exercises. Therefore, I think it might not be so difficult to apply to national scenarios. Secondly, facilitate the collection of national policies existing one or NDCs, something like that, or translation and harmonization into modeling assumptions would also be attractive for us to pursue. And also, up to now, there are relatively less linkages between national activities and global activities, but our SWG might be able to bridge this kind of gap and provide a platform for sharing best practices, which is mainly aiming for the capacity building, which eventually helps to develop the models for low-income countries or developing countries. And one of the expected results is, I think, summarized in a paper published last year entitled "A Framework for National Scenarios with the Varying Emission Reductions." At that time, we did use a single model to explore the 6 major Asian countries of emissions and energy scenarios. And we did a kind of a harmonized, standardized way to generate the scenarios compared across the countries. But that's quite, I would like to indicate that it's one of the examples, and still we are seeking how to make this SWG effective. And we initially establish coordination structure as shown in this slide. And so Roberto and I myself are going to be co-chairs of this SWGs. And we set up regional coordinators for each continent level, where they might be able to collect some information from individual or continental or national scenarios, or they could also be a facilitator or providing the information from the global side. If needed, I think co-chairs can organize meetings with the regional coordinators, but we haven't yet still figured out what would be the specific roles of each regional coordinators, and we may want to elaborate further in the near future.